Greetings, Limbardians, and welcome. Today I will be giving my personal opinion on Beerus, where I explain the basics about the character and give my overall opinion on the character. I had enough battles that I believe I can give my fair opinion on the character, and my opinion is, as usual, especially when it comes to Micheal characters, awesome. It is the type of characters I personally love when it comes to their moveset, how they feel, like everything about it is for me personally perfect. With that said, is he objectively perfect though? Well, I'd argue to differ. But I'll probably instead just say the stuff he has and the stuff that are good or bad, whatever. So first off, with the movement, obviously it's the type of movement I love. It's very simple and does the job as I consider it. The dash speed is great. It's pretty fast, but not too fast. The walking speed is fine. Also the sprites, look how awesome they look, especially the idle animation. Awesome looking. Dash, obviously something I like. You cannot stay in the air infinite. Or maybe you can. Oops. Never mind. And yeah, so when it comes to movement, obviously I like it. And then I move on to his regular attacks, A. So this is cool because this ends on an overhead. So let's say, for example, I decide to block, right? With the enemy opponent, I decide to... Wait, why is he not blocking? Guess I'll just block manually. So let's say you can see everything blocked except for the last A attack, because it is an overhead, meaning that you need to block high. Might not be too much of an issue, but I might mix it up with down A. Sorry, with down A. Oh, now you're inside a combo. So it's pretty... How do I say it? Beerus has really good mix-ups, basically. You block low and then immediately make sure you're blocking mid. So really awesome mix-ups, I really like it. And something that is true to every single Micheal character is if you dash forward or backwards, it doesn't matter, and you press A, look at the distance it covers. Like damn, you can successfully, and this is probably the best character to whiff punish. For those unfamiliar what whiff punish means, basically let's say I avoided the attack of my opponent, and then, wait, and immediately, boom, you saw that? I whiffed, punished him. I dashed out of his attack and punished him immediately afterwards. He has the best whiff punishes. Obviously, it's 2D, it's a bit more harder to do than something like Tekken, but still. Same applies to B, obviously. So it covers a huge amount of distance, especially if you're like going from a huge distance like this, dashing towards your opponent. Or maybe you can confuse him and be something like this, for example. Like do a lot of dashes. He's like, oh, I see him moving towards me. Wait. Avoid last second. And then immediately punish. Well, you get the point. So it's really cool, and I really like it. What's cool, you can also follow it up, but I'll get into that in a moment. If you do down A, it continues on automatically into the normal A. I think that's all. Then he has B. B is interesting because here, if you press B again, then you finish the combo early. So you get punished by spamming B all the time, right? Like this, you spammed it, you finish the combo earlier than you probably wanted, because if you don't, like after this launcher, if you jump forward, you can extend it into air combat, which is great. He has down B, which is a low that covers more distance, but it has horrible recovery frames, meaning if your opponent blocked it, you are very easily punished in comparison to down A, which has better recovery frames. In simple terms, this is... how do I explain it? This is safer than this. That's pretty risky, but it covers more. And then, well, same, like I said, same applies to dashing. He has C, something that you expect from Dragon Ball characters, Ki Blast, which has a huge amount of damage. Spam this if you're against friends. And he has a down C, which is an overhead, so this is cool. You have enough time to react to it. Obviously, if you block low, then boof, you get punished. Really cool, this is a cool move, and I will get into it in a moment. While in the air, you have AA, you have down A while in the air, which knocks down the enemy, BBB 3 times. This I recommend using the most. Down B. You know, it's funny, the sprite looks as if it's supposed to launch him higher, but that's not what happens, but doesn't matter. I never use this. And, well, C, you can already know what this is, but down C is that overhead, which is awesome. And what's cool is that you can actually combine B, 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 down C, but take note that down C uses something like 100 or 150 power, around that. Oh wow, my friends are sending me a lot of messages. ignore those GTA phone sounds, that's my messages sounds. Notification on my phone. And yeah, that's about it, I believe. What you can do, when pressing Y, you can dash towards your opponent. Use this right after finishing a combo. Something like, for example, well, here as you can see, you cannot continue, but launching. And instead of jumping towards him, you can do this instead. Or finish your A combo, and immediately after that overhead hit with his hand, press Y, and then you can extend it. And if you remember, I advised to use B while in the air, because when you're using B in the air, you basically you do these 3-hit combos, and then you have a few options. Either you're using a special after this, or do down C. In this case, let's say I use down C. As you can see, I connected this long combo like this, right? Super cool. And what's also cool is that you can extend it even more into a special. Cool, right? But I do not advise on doing that because the damage is really small. Unless you... okay, so I'm getting too much ahead of myself, sorry. That's probably the stuff you need to know about the combos. Then he has A plus B. What's cool about this is that it has a short time amount of super armor. It doesn't seem to work. Yeah, see? So it doesn't matter if even if he attacks me, I have super armor, see? So it is useful, especially if, let's say, my opponent is spamming, let's say, this stuff. Oh, wrong timing, sorry. He's spamming this. I can kinda avoid it. You need a good timing for it, but yeah, you can see the super armor. I personally never use it because it eats something like 500 power, which is quite a lot if I'm being honest. I personally don't use this, but if you're someone who finds better use to it, use it. I mean, it's just another tool that you can use. And then he has something that on my stream I did not use enough. I probably should have, which is B plus C. You can hold it to make more balls. The longer you hold, the more you have. You can then hit them, actually, which is cool as hell, to, as you can see, launch towards your opponent. It's like normal Ki blasts, but a bit different. What's cool about it, you can kinda, if you're like super creative, you can kinda create like traps and then do something like insane, like comboing your opponent into them. But mostly just protects you really well against different stuff, like against projectiles, as you can see. Like it protects you really well. It's a really good tool to have. Let me actually check. It doesn't protect you against everything, but it protects you especially against maybe like super aggressive opponents, so it's really good. It does eat around 400 power, but really useful, really cool. And then he has that's about it, I believe, right? I hope I didn't forget anything. And then we move on to his specials. He has, well, I really hope I didn't forget anything. First special is down backwards A, which is a counter hit. This is also cool because you can extend it into a combo as long as you properly time your dash after this. And it depends on the stage, obviously, as you can see. He has down forward A, which is a short like a combo. This is something that you can do well in the air as well. Down backwards B, which is a blast, a beam, sorry. You can hold it obviously. Also, what's useful about this is that if you do this in the air, it fires forward, but if you hold downwards, it fires downwards. Super useful. I don't think you can fire it up, right? No, you cannot, okay. And then he has down forward B. This is a classic Beerus move. This is good against if you're playing simultaneously, meaning there's a lot of opponents, or I don't know, he's creating clones or whatever. It could be useful in depending on the situation. If it's one-on-one, maybe not the best move to use. Although, let me try. And you can of course hold it to extend it. I mean, yeah, you can use it, why not? It's useful while in combos as well. Down backwards C, which this is probably the coolest and best move. And this is the move I'd suggest to extend if you have like full power and you don't want to use the ultimate for some reason. You can do this. Boom, boom, boom. This, and immediately the down backwards C. It did not work this time, but usually it works. And then he has down forward C, which is this really cool and interesting blast that you can fire from the air as well. You will probably find better uses to it than I did. It is blockable. I don't believe he has anything that is unblockable. Yeah, everything is blockable from what I believe. I'm gonna show that everything is blockable now. Yes, everything is blockable. Especially this. Alright. And then he has supers. He has two supers. The first one is down forward A plus B. So it should look like this. This is blockable, I believe, yes. You can shoot this well in the air as well. And he has down forward B plus B, but at first you'll be confused as to why doesn't it work? Well, your opponent needs to be on low health. Only when your opponent is on low health you can do down forward A plus B, and it's pretty much like a finisher. I did not get the chance to do it on my stream, but yeah, that's how it looks. Really cool, really awesome. Something that obviously is a Beerus thing. And his ultimate, which can be connected after a combo, something like this. Fantastic looking ultimate. It's obviously an homage to fighters. And I believe that's everything to cover about the character. So that's the basics about Beerus. Some recommendations from me on how to play with him and what stuff you should experiment with him. Yeah, I guess overall my opinion is very positive on the character. A download link will be down in the description, like as always. And I hope everyone tries him out. He's a very fun and awesome character to use. And as always, I wish upon everyone to have a wonderful day.